Running a marathon is known to be one of the hardest physical accomplishments that a person can do. It tests your physical and mental limits as well as pushing your body to its absolute max, which is why I decided to run a half marathon in the freezing cold. For those of you who don't know, a half marathon is just half the distance of a full marathon, which is 13.1 miles or just over 21 kilometers. Usually when people train for a longer race, they take a couple months to really critique their form and find the right shoes and other things of that sort. However, I did not find this race until a month or so beforehand, so basically needed to start training right away, and I just got to it. And before I knew it, the few weeks flew by and it was time for race day. And to be clear, I have never ran an official race before. Never a 5K, 10K, or a half marathon or anything like that, especially one that has been this cold.
Yo, what's up? It's officially the morning of race day, and it's like 5 o'clock, and I have to get ready because I missed signups and have to get there before the race starts. So, here's a microwave. So, yep. Woo! Time to make some breakfast.
When I arrived, I was extremely nervous, but after being there for a couple minutes, I actually got really excited and pumped up for the race because the energy was crazy. People were moving around and warming up and giving each other high fives and pep talks for like an hour before 7:40, which is when the race started. And when it started, a huge mob of people just took off booking it down the street. It was crazy. Initially, I was in the back half of the people just because I didn't want to push my way up to the front, which was fine, but then after a mile or so, I made it up to the people where I'd be running at their pace, which is also about the time when my headphones froze and I didn't have any music for the rest of the race after this point. But even without music and running long distances much in my life, I actually got in a groove, and the first couple miles kind of flew by and I didn't even realize that it was cold out. I was lucky enough to have a support team that came out and followed me around in the race, which was awesome. I really appreciated it. If it was one recommendation that I have for people running their first race, find someone to follow you around. It really just helps you boost your energy and your attitude while you're running. And this positive energy and attitude really carried me through the first 8 miles, which was really when the race just got rough because it got very hilly very fast. Initially, before the race started, I thought this hilly section wouldn't be that bad because I have ran hills before. But when you're 8 miles into a longer run, your legs are not feeling the greatest and a hill just hits you twice as hard. After I battled my way through the hilliest miles, mile 8 and mile 9 of the race, I thought I was in the clear and had a clear shot to the finish line, until I realized how much of a factor the weather plays in a longer race, which is when I got really cold around mile 10. I believe this happened around mile 10 because at this point I was running for about an hour and a half and had sweat all on my clothes and everything, and then everything started to freeze. With the wind and the colder temperature, was really tough to battle through for the last mile or two. But with the help of my support team, I kept battling through those last couple miles and eventually finished the half marathon, which had to be one of the greatest senses of accomplishment I've had in a while. I would say the best feeling was finishing the race, and a close second would be that I wasn't running anymore because it was cold and I was tired and it was only like 11 in the morning. After a quick celebration with some of my new little running friends, I guess you could call them, we went over and got some food and some beer, of course, and then a blanket because it was freezing and we were all shivering because it was so cold. The final results of my half marathon were I finished the race in just about 2 hours and 2 minutes, which over a distance of 13.4 miles averaged out to be about 9 minutes and 15 seconds per mile, which beat the pace I was going for at 9:30 a mile. Just got back from the race, felt super good actually, so definitely gonna run another one, so yeah. Overall, I would rate this experience a 10 out of 10. It was really interesting and a different type of competition that I was used to, and I would definitely recommend it to any person that is out there thinking about this. Even if it's going to be cold or rainy or windy, it's just something about the race day that is just different than your regular daily run. This experience has definitely encouraged me to keep running and possibly run more half marathons in the future and maybe even a full marathon, you never know. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to smash that like and subscribe button, as always, and then have a fabulous rest of your day. Peace.